Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Iron Smoke and Grill. Today I am very excited. I have here a prime ribeye roast that I am going to dry age for 30 days. And I am going to do that by using this dry age bags. And this is a very simple product. You can do it at home. You don't need any special equipment. This is basically all you need is a vacuum sealer. And basically this is what the bag looks like. I will explain to you how it works. Just want to show you the basic and let's get started. Okay, and the way we're gonna start and open up the bag here, you want to do this as clean as you possibly can. First thing you want to do is peel this back a little bit. Basically just fold it back. And the reason why you want to do this, you want this whole sealing part to be clean. So when you put it in your vacuum sealer, you don't have any juices or anything from the meat attached to this area. And now, I'm gonna get the meat inside the bag. And there you go. Now, you want to push it all to one side. Try to get it as tight as possible in the bag. Help it out a little bit. And now, when it comes to the vacuum sealing part, as you can see, I got this part a little dirty, so I'm going to go ahead and clean this up. And after I clean it up, we'll be right back to get the vacuum sealer going. Okay, and what I did in order to clean the bag, I just grabbed a little paper towel and I cleaned up the inside as good as I could, and now we're ready to seal the bag. So these bags come with these special mesh. This goes inside the bag, and what these do is they prevent any extra juices from the meat that are getting sucked in with the machine. And if you have those juices go through, then you get a chance of not getting a good seal on the bag. So just place these inside the bag and we're gonna give it a try. Alright, stop it. Alright, well, I was having a little bit of a problem. The bag is a little too big for my vacuum sealer. So what I did is I sealed one corner of the bag and I inserted the mesh on the other side, and I'm gonna give this another run. It's finally inside the bag. It was not perfect, I had a couple of struggles, but we got it in there. So what you can see here, the goal is for every side of the meat to be touching the bag as much as possible. You can see here in the bottom sides, everything needs to be touching the bag. And the reason for that is these bags are specially designed to extract the moisture without allowing any moisture to back into the bag. And now the only thing we need to do is fold the excess bag, just put it under the meat, and we're gonna put it in a cooling rack. And the reason why you want to use a cooling rack, you want to have oxygen be able to go all around the meat. So your meat needs to breathe. Make sure you don't put anything on top of it, don't layer anything on top of it. We're gonna let this go for 30 days. And now all we gotta do is wait and put it in the fridge. Lucky for you guys, this is gonna take a couple of minutes. I actually have to wait the 30 days. So we'll see you in a couple days. Alright everybody, well the day is finally here. This actually ended up going for over 30 days. It's actually 42 days total that it went for. And when I originally started this process, like I said earlier, I was gonna do 30 days. We ended up moving and whole different thing. So anyways, long story short, 42 days later, here we have it. It's time to cut it open and see what it looks like. Alright, so first thing we gotta do, cut up the bag. And alright. Well, first thing I can tell you is this is pretty tough. Feels almost like a rock, which from my understanding that is the way it's supposed to be. So now let's try to cut into it. All right, and just to get this a little closer view for you guys, this is gonna be my first cut. Let's see how we go. Like I said, this is probably about 1.5 inches or so. And wow, this is quite tough. Like I said, make sure you have a sharp knife. This is definitely not the best knife for this. And here we are. Look at that. You can see how it's a little darker. You got all that beautiful marbling. Now I'm gonna finish cutting the rest of it into steaks. And after I cut it up, I'm gonna have to trim all this area, all the pellicle, which is what it's called. And then we're gonna send it out to the grill. All right, and now that they're all cut up into steaks, what I'm gonna do is basically just trim around it. Make sure I get all that pellicle off. And once I'm done with this meat will be ready to go into the grill. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing a reverse sear. And tonight's dinner is gonna be amazing. Now I'm trying to get just the pellicle itself. I'm not trying to lose a lot of meat. As you can see, the steak is already small enough as it is, but this is gonna be so worth it because when you dry a steak, it intensifies the flavor. It makes it so much more tender, and it's just something you gotta try it. All right, well, here we have it. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest, and we'll continue on. All right, well, here we have it. We're done cutting the steaks. One thing I forgot to mention earlier, when I bought this roast, it weighed just a little over 8 pounds. After the whole dry aging process, I waited right before I trimmed it, and I lost a little bit, about around 2 pounds. It was just a little over 6 pounds total weight. Now, of course, that's before trimming it. Now that I trimmed it, I haven't actually weighed it, but as you can see, the steaks got significantly smaller. But, you know, that was expected during this process. Like I said, dry aging is supposed to intensify the flavor. So it's okay for the steak to be a little smaller. The experience that you're gonna get out of it should be amazing. So it's time to prep these up. I'm actually only gonna grill 2 of these steaks. I'm gonna vacuum seal and freeze the other ones for another night. But for tonight, I'm only gonna cook 2 of them. And I'm gonna be using salt, pepper, and garlic just to keep it simple. I wanna actually have the flavor of the meat. So that's all we're gonna do for today. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and start with a little bit of olive oil for seasoning. And just a little bit on both. Just a little bit on both sides. And then we're gonna go ahead and start seasoning, like I said before, some salt. Black pepper. And some granulated garlic. Now you want to make sure you get all sides of it. You want to go ahead and turn them around and get them ready for the grill. Alright, well, I went ahead and preheated the grill. It's sitting at 225 degrees. And like I said, I'm going to do a reverse sear on this. So I'm gonna go ahead and cook these slowly until they reach a temperature of 115 degrees, and then I'll pull them out, rest, and sear. Alright, looks like our steak is just about the temperature we need it to be. Alright, so about 115. Gotta go ahead and pull them out, rest them for about 10 minutes. And in the meantime, I'm gonna get the grill up to 600 degrees, and then we'll be ready for searing. Alright, looks like the grill is nice and hot. 600 degrees, it's time to sear. I'll sear them for about a minute and a half or 2 per side, and then we'll be ready to eat. Alright, these are fresh off the grill. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of steak butter on each one of them. Let that melt for about 5 minutes. And then we'll be ready to slice these up, start eating. Alright, now that the butter is all melted up, let's see what this looks like. Alright. Stop it. Alright everybody, well we're finally done with our steak. As you can see, you get a nice medium rare. The steak butter melted really nicely. It's time for us to taste it, see what this is like. It definitely has a different flavor than your typical steak. It's kind of hard to describe it, but I can tell you I definitely do it again. I highly recommend it. Well, we're gonna get to eating, but as always, thank you for watching. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Have any questions or comments, please go ahead and put them down. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next one. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and backtrack a little bit on what I said on my last statement. So, as I continue to eat the steak, the flavor intensified a little too much. It kind of gamey. It was just, I don't know, it started getting a little different. The fat side of the steak definitely did not have a good flavor. As you can see here on my plate, I just cut it all off. I didn't eat it. So, I don't think I'll be doing this again. Was not a big fan of it towards the end of it. My wife didn't like it at all. So, I mean, it's up to you. Give it a try. My personal opinion, I don't see myself doing this again. So, once again, thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one.